everyone, I've been asked by a lot of people now if I'll ever do a tutorial video of how to paint my peonies, and this video is just that. In this video you'll learn how to paint this beautiful peony here. This is the one from the video itself. I didn't include the part where I drew it by hand just because I'm a slow drawer, but you can head on over to my website and you can download the sketch free of charge, and you can do with it whatever you please. I'll include the link in the description below. If you could do me a favour and like, subscribe to the channel and comment in the section below, I'll be very grateful. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So this is how I paint my peonies. First of all, I'll get my permanent rose, a dark mix, and then I'll put some at the centre of the flower, at the bottom of the petal. A nice, not too thick because you don't want it too watery, but you want it enough so you can blend it out with clean water. So when you put the thick paint down, like as I've just done, go back to your water, clean your brush because you don't want to thicken any more paint on to what you've already added, and slowly blend it out. Make sure you wash your brush and dry it on a paper towel so it's nice and damp, then blend it out slowly with clean brush each time. What you have to remember is at the tips of these petals it's almost white looking, so you've got to blend it out nicely so it's nice and pale at the end, so it's a nice gradient to the colour. Don't worry if you think that you've put too much paint down, just clean your brush, dab it on a paper towel and you can lift some of the paint back up. That's the beauty of watercolour, you always get a second chance. Always remember, when you cleaned your brush in clean water and you use a paper towel, make sure you roll it so that the bristles go back into a nice clean point. This will help you with control with those finer details. Once you finish your first petal, move on to another petal. It could be anywhere on the flower, just not right next to the one you've just painted, because we don't want the paint to bleed into each petal. We want nice clean petals. Repeat the process that you did on the first petal with all the other petals on the peony. Always remember to clean your brush as you lighten each petal. As we're using the wet on dry technique, your paint should dry pretty quickly on the paper, so it allows you to return and paint petals next to the ones you've already painted. I like to tape my painting to a board. It allows me the freedom to turn the board so that I'm comfortable when painting and not twisting my wrist to an awkward angle. Now I've done my darkest petals, I've now moved on to some of the lighter petals, and I'm just using a lighter value of the permanent rose paint to do this. So just do it very lightly. If you want to darken it later, then you can do. If you feel that you need to add more pink onto the petal to make it a little bit darker, don't be afraid, just go ahead and do that. You can always lift the paint back off again if you feel you've made it too dark. Remember, as you're painting the petals at the top of the flower, they're going to be a lighter gradient, so you don't want to go in with a dark mix, but a light mix. Repeat the process on every petal on your flower, then that will complete the first layer. So step 2 is all about adding those darker tones to your peony, and the colour that I'm using here is a mix of permanent rose and ultramarine green shade. Using your darker mix, repeat the technique that you used in the first layer on each of your petals, although only do this where the darkest points of the flower are. Here I used a lighter value of the permanent rose and ultramarine mix, as I did with the first layer, just to add a bit more depth to those lighter petals at the top of the flower. Here I felt that those petals at the base of the flower just needed a bit more depth, so I added some more of the Permanent Rose ultramarine mix.
Now we're on to our third and final stage of painting the peony. Using a pale mix of Payne's Grey and Ultramarine, we're going to add those finer details to the petals, which are usually those crinkly lines, well, the veins within the petals, and it will give the illusion of shade on those lines as well. I felt that the darkest parts of the flower needed to be even darker just to create more depth, so I made a darker mix of French Ultramarine and Permanent Rose and added that into those areas that you can see. Using some yellow ochre, just dot in where the pollen is on the centre of the flower. Doesn't need to be completely painted in yellow ochre, just dot it, and then we'll add a layer of Van Dyke brown, again just dotting in the paint on top of the yellow ochre. I then went back onto it and added a few more dots of yellow ochre just to brighten it up just a little bit. And there you have it. There's our beautiful peony painting. All I need to do is sign it and then remove the tape. I hope you enjoyed this peony tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the section below. I'll answer any questions there that you may have. And thanks for watching.